Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Abhirami and I am here to discuss with you about today's topic, that is the fascia. So today we will be talking about the deep fascia, superficial fascia, and then the deep pectoral fascia and the clavipectoral fascia. Okay, so let's start off with some introduction. The skin is made up of two layers, that is the epidermis and the dermis, and the epidermis is the outer layer, the dermis is the inner layer. Okay, and what is a fascia? So fascia is a connective tissue that is laden with a varying amount of fat. Okay, so the fat that is present in the fascia is varying in amount, and the fascia helps to support, separate and interconnect organs. It enables the organs to move in relation to one another, and it also helps to transmit the vessels and the nerves that pass through the fascia. Okay, so now let's talk about the two major divisions of the fascia. So fascia is generally divided into two things, that is the deep fascia and the superficial fascia. Okay, so superficial fascia is also called as the subcutaneous fascia, and superficial fascia lies just below the dermis and it is also connected to the dermis. Okay, so superficial fascia is connected to the dermis and it lies below the dermis. So superficial fascia is made up of loose connective tissue and it is laden with fat. So the amount of fat that is laden in the loose connective tissue varies from one part of the body to another part of the body, and also from one person to another person. Okay, so I was telling that the superficial fascia was made up of loose connective tissue, right? So loose connective tissue is it comes under the connective tissue. For the classification of the connective tissue, it shows that the connective tissue is divided into loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue. Okay, so loose connective tissue is the one that forms the superficial fascia. Okay, and the superficial fascia helps to transmit the vessels and nerves that are present in it. So the vessels and nerves usually travel to and from the skin. Okay, so the vessels and the nerves present in the superficial fascia travel to and from the skin, and the superficial fascia acts as a energy reservoir or a fat reservoir. So the fat cells that are present in the superficial fascia store up a lot of energy, and when energy is needed, the fat is broken down and the energy is released into the body. Okay, now let's talk about the deep fascia. So the deep fascia is one step below the superficial fascia. Okay, and the deep fascia is connected to the deep layer of the superficial fascia. Okay, so deep fascia is connected to the deep layer of superficial fascia, and the deep fascia is made up of dense connective tissue and it is a properly organized tissue. Okay, so the superficial fascia was made up of loose connective tissue, but the dense connective tissue is present in the deep fascia. Okay, and the deep fascia forms a fibrous covering over many regions in the body. Okay, so now let's talk about the clavipectoral fascia and the deep pectoral fascia. Okay, so the deep pectoral fascia is actually the fascia around pectoralis major. It is the deep fascia around pectoralis major. So the deep pectoral fascia is thin and elastic, and it is attached to the pectoralis major muscle through various septum that crosses into, that goes into the muscle and divides the fasciculi of the muscle. Okay, so the fasciculi of the muscle are divided by the septum produced by the deep pectoral fascia, and the deep pectoral fascia is thus attached to the pectoralis major muscle. Okay, so the deep pectoral fascia is attached superiorly to the clavicle and anteriorly to the sternum. Okay, so it is attached superiorly to the clavicle and anteriorly to the sternum or the breastbone. Okay, and superolaterally it passes over the infraclavicular fossa. So what is infraclavicular fossa? Infraclavicular fossa is a depression just below the clavicle. Okay, so fossa means a depression. Okay, so infraclavicular fossa is a depression just below the clavicle. So superolaterally it passes over the infraclavicular fossa and the deltopectoral groove to become the fascia covering the deltoid. Okay, the deep pectoral fascia is actually passing over the infraclavicular fossa and the deltopectoral groove, and later it becomes the fascia covering the deltoid muscle. Okay, so this is a picture of the deltopectoral groove. So right, inferolaterally the fascia, that is the deep pectoral fascia, curves around the inferolateral border of pectoralis major to become continuous with the axillary fascia. The deep pectoral fascia curves around the inferior border of the pectoralis major muscle, and it joins with the axillary fascia after that. Okay, and inferiorly it is continuous with the fascia over the thorax and the rectus sheath. Okay, so the fascia covering the thorax and the rectus sheath is attached to the deep pectoral fascia inferiorly. Okay, now let's talk about the next thing, that is the clavipectoral fascia. So the clavipectoral fascia is a fibrous sheet and it is attached deep to the clavicular part of the pectoralis major muscle. Okay, so the pectoralis major muscle is divided into two, and the clavipectoral fascia is attached to the clavicular part of the pectoralis major muscle. Okay, the clavipectoral fascia extends up to the clavicle above and up to the axillary fascia below. The upper part of the clavipectoral fascia splits into two to enclose the subclavius muscle, and the posterior lamina is fused to the investing layer of the deep cervical fascia and to the axillary sheath. Okay, so the posterior lamina of the clavipectoral fascia is fused to the investing layer of the deep pectoral fascia. Deep fascia is the one that is covering the regions inside the body. Okay, and if the deep fascia is covering the pectoralis major muscle, it's called deep pectoral fascia, and the deep cervical fascia is one such type of a deep fascia. Okay, so the posterior lamina is fused with this deep cervical fascia and to the axillary sheath. Okay, and medially the fascia is attached to the first rib and the costoclavicular ligament. Okay, and inferiorly the clavipectoral fascia splits into two to enclose the pectoralis minor muscle, and below this muscle the deep pectoral fascia continues as a suspensory ligament. Okay, and this ligament is attached to the axillary fascia, the dome of the axillary fascia, and it also helps to keep the axillary fascia pulled up. Okay, and laterally it is attached to the coracoid process and it blends with the coracoclavicular ligament. Okay, so it strengthens the coracoclavicular ligament by blending with it, and also it is okay, and also the upper part of this fascia is very thick and it forms the costocoracoid ligament. Okay, and the last thing is that is pierced by the lateral pectoral nerve, cephalic vein, thoracoacromial vessels, and the lymphatics. So the clavipectoral fascia and the deep pectoral fascia are connected to each other through the septum that is present deep inside the deltopectoral groove, and the cephalic vein that is also present over here. So it is the cephalic vein which is present in the clavipectoral fascia is also innervating the deep pectoral fascia. So the structures that pass through the deep pectoral fascia include the cephalic vein, and then the thoracoacromial artery, and one or two deltopectoral lymph nodes. Okay, so that is all about the connection between the clavipectoral fascia and the deep pectoral fascia. You should note that the cephalic vein passes over both the deep pectoral fascia and the clavipectoral fascia. And also the clavipectoral fascia is present under the cover of pectoralis major muscle. Okay, so that is all about today's topic. Thank you for listening to me. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe and comment on it. And if you have doubts, you can post it down in the comments. Click the bell button to receive notifications. And if you have doubts on muscle physiology or bones of the upper limb, you can visit my previous videos. Thank you.